flight, telekinesis, pyrokinesis, super strength, invisibility, dragon, rock. These are all superpowers that we all dreamed of as a kid, but as you get older, you start dreaming of more mundane superpowers, like the ability for your dishes to do themselves, or the ability to conjure food on some Spy Kid shit, making us think, what if we actually got the superpowers that we wished for as kids? This anime shows us realistic scenarios on what exactly happens when you give a kid superpowers. Most kids aren't gonna be Spider-Man. They're gonna go,
with great power comes great big booty bitches,
or try to monetize their power like this guy. And you're probably thinking to yourself, let's go. But the powers disappear after puberty, and since this takes place in a world without stupid adults, you can only imagine the traumatizing experiences these kids could go through, as they could become lab rats at any moment. But hey, I can hold my phone in the air and goon without moving a finger. Yu Otosaka is a genius top student. Or at least that's what he wants you to believe. He's really a regular guy who actively competes in the popularity contest we call high school. This dude was glazed so much in the first episode, they basically made him out to be the Asian Duke Dennis. But using his power, he cheats his way to the top, both socially and academically, revealing his dishonest, cheating, and conceited true nature. So we're basically forced to hate him, as he doesn't have any redeemable qualities you'd typically find in a main character. Yu has the power to possess people for 5 seconds, and during these 5 seconds, his body is lifeless, as he has full control over a person's mind and body. So if he wants to do some crazy shit in your body, you finna wake up like bro, cause there ain't shit you can do about it if his eyes get locked on you. Bro literally did this to a random Amazon worker just cause he wanted to flex for his crush. Like, bruh, this dude is having the worst day of his life just cause some high schooler wanted some butt. Stupid. Aside from his narcissistic introduction, Yu doesn't have any other relatives besides his sister Ayumi, who foreshadows a lot throughout the series, starting from episode 1. Our story begins with Yu being blackmailed into transferring to a secret all-power user high school. There, he helps the student council in catching more power users like themselves in an effort to keep them safe from scientists conducting horrible experiments. Their intention is to find the root cause of their powers and weaponize it. But from viewers' perspective, we don't notice a single scientist or any suspicious adult until it's too late. In this world, powers are caught similar to an illness in adolescence and disappear after puberty, so needless to say, Yu isn't the only one using his power for personal gain. Some kids have powers that are too powerful for them to manage on their own, and some have powers that they are not even aware of. The story starts off lighthearted and straightforward with quality humor to add to the slice of life setting, but as we uncover more about Yu's past, we start to understand how complicated his future is going to be. The story gradually shifts from a local slice of life to a dramatic global Armageddon, and you think I'm jazzing it, but we deadass went from a typical classroom bullshit, oh he thinks I'm cute, to internment camps, and the switch is crazy fast, so really pay attention to all 13 episodes. There's death, a seance, consequential decision making, pursuit, and enough slice of life, humor, and plot development for this story to make you feel every emotion there is. I truly try to keep these videos subjective without spoiling too much, but this one is just one of those ones you gotta watch for yourself if you want a Game of Thrones story without the shitty ending. I think I told you enough, so now you just gotta pick a pill. Can I get to the yes, sweet yes, show me the way, 'cause I got bills to pay. Can I get it? We've already talked on Yu's background, but the first person to actually press Yu was now Tomori. Superpower, subjective invisibility. She can target one person's visual recognition, which means that everyone other than that one person can see her. She serves as the student council president, but stays pretty isolated as her peers distrust her and prefer to keep her at a distance. I mean, whenever someone sees her in a fight, it always looks one-sided, as her opponents can never see her. The reason she works so diligently is because her brother was a subject to a scientist's experimentation. During this time, her friends would be the ones to assure her that her brother was fine and would pull her away from obvious signs of struggle. However, it's later revealed that the scientists strategically place friends to keep her away from the truth. Needless to say, she doesn't trust anybody, but as she develops a closer relationship with her fellow student council members, we start to see her walls come down little by little. Next, we got Jojiro Takehito. This dude might be my favorite character in the show, besides Yu. His superpower is teleportation / super speed. speed and being funny as shit. Let me explain. No matter the situation, he's comedic gold. But as far as his half-ass superpower goes, he has the ability to travel at an uncontrollable, extremely high speed in one direction. So he's basically a living bullet who always has to brace for impact whenever he uses his ability. He makes sure his body's kept in shape and always wears a bulletproof vest to protect his vital organs. His power tends to land him in the hospital a lot and destroys the surroundings wherever he lands. But did I mention he's funny as shit? Next up, we got Yusa Nishimori. She's a neighborhood airhead, but she's a famous idol who's very cute and innocent throughout the show. But when she uses her power of spiritism, which is channeling and conversing with the dead, she retains none of her memory while being channeled. We first see her turned into her dead sister Misa Nishimori, and you think Yusa's the guy off Split by how drastically her personality changes when she's her sister. Like, this bitch just started burning shit for no reason, and when they tell her to stop, like any normal person would, she says, yeah, I guess that would be bad. Like, bitch. Next up, we got wet hair guy, Takehito Kumagami. He literally just pulls up to help the student council, wet as fuck. Pause. Wait, pause, bro. It's a part of his power, chill. Wait, chill.
There's no way out of this one. You're done.
To locate other ability users and leaves. But as the story unfolds, you realize how crucial he's been to the plot behind the scenes the entire time. Initially, he only speaks to describe and locate different abilities and their users, but he seems chill though, like the chicken from Surf's Up, but less emotion. Lastly, we got Yu's sister, Ayumi Otosaka. She's a cheerful middle school girl who's fairly popular in her grade and remains ignorant to the existence of super abilities. She foreshadows most of the huge plot points throughout the show, and to be honest, I missed all of them until I rewatched the show for myself. Her character was often neglected and misunderstood until Yu had a self-reflection, learning to truly appreciate and understand all the good she does as a younger sister. She plays a bigger role than most characters in the show and serves as Yu's emotional anchor. There were decisions made on her behalf and not others, and that could be argued given a different situation as it falls under the guise of what's morally correct or incorrect. However, she herself can do no wrong.
Except for her weird obsession with tomato sauce. Like with every meal though. I feel for you, bro.
Mystery. Charlotte's Mystery doesn't compare to a real mystery heavy anime, as it only has one season with no hope of a continuation for the future. But it does keep you asking questions until the very end. Like I said, the story will be a very nice slice of life, and about 3/4 into the story, you see a dramatic shift, giving it a more serious tone. Like, who are the scientists looking for the kids? When did the super ability phenomenon start? Are the scientists the only adults looking for the kids? And why does you make this philosophical statement in the very first scene? And no matter how late in the anime, they make sure to answer every question you come up with, which makes it a great binge in my opinion. Comedy. King Jojiro. Jojiro carries humor in this show, and to be honest, I think that was why he was written in the first place. He has no sad backstory. He's just a good guy, trying to be there for everybody in his own way. And although he has no chill, this nigga is a diehard fanboy for Yusa because she's his favorite idol, and so is Yu's sister. So he doesn't seem to care about public opinion, as his power makes him stand out just as much as his personality. And don't get me wrong, the other characters are funny too, like this camera shot of Yu that looks like Huey from the Boondocks, but none can be compared to my King Takajo. He's just goated. Slice of life. The story follows all the basic tropes of a slice of life anime, from the overly horny character to the tsundere to the weirdly attached main character sibling relationship. I mean, they're in a damn school and the premise surrounds abilities that disappears after puberty. So what did I miss? Visuals/camera shots. 9.5 out of 10. The visuals for Charlotte are very underrated in my opinion, and if I'm being honest, I typically don't see their visual camera shots done in most anime today. Like when Jojiro gets a sandwich and does a full 360 around the girls in line, the 360 when we enter the club room for the first time, or our first instance seeing Jojiro's power in a first person point of view. The wide angle aerial shots and the visual diversity in this anime might be unmatched for a 2015 anime. Like, I was actually taken aback by the amount of times they surprised me with the visual approach they took, and unlike some anime, they stayed consistent with their animated direction. For example, they broke through the glass window in the club room, and it didn't magically appear fixed off screen with one BS sentence explaining what happened. They broke the glass, said it'll cost hella money to fix, and it might take a couple days, so instead of it being fixed immediately when we see it next, it had a tarp and a cover over it to show the elapsed time and progression towards fixing the window.
This is what we call W animators, not whatever the fuck this is. Like deadass, we went from this to this.
What the fuck? I know that might seem really minuscule to some, but the consistency was admirable, and I do take notice of the little things in anime, so yeah, 9.5 out of 10.
Plot 10 out of 10. The plot is fairly straightforward until you realize it's not. The foreshadowing was perfect and fooled me not once, but multiple times after rewatching this anime throughout the years. It's easy to get invested into superpowers, but when you factor in the adults knowing about your powers and taking an active approach in trying to utilize said powers for their own personal gain, you get a beautifully made story like Charlotte. My first watch of this anime, I was pissed because I loved every episode, and it felt like they teased the fuck out of a great story that could have lasted another season if elaborated on. However, after rewatching the anime for the purpose of this video, I realized that the author's focus must not have been to showcase the powers of each character, but to emphasize
Trying to find yourself?
in a world full of greed, empathy, deceit, loyalty, love, and loneliness. Kind of poetic when you think about it, but I was hot as shit when it didn't get any more episodes. Like, nigga, don't blue ball me. Characters. Objectively speaking, the characters themselves, with the exception of you, weren't all that awe-inspiring. I think the author wrote the main character perfectly, making us hate him only to inevitably grow with him and see everything from his practical standpoint, to making him one of, if not the most likable character on the show. But if you look at all the other characters, you see growth, but it didn't have that gut punch feeling. Like, Now hates everyone and isn't with that lovey-dovey bullshit, but at the same time, what the fuck is she looking like this for? She hasn't shown an ounce of this all season. And Jojiro is Jojiro. He didn't change at all. And to be honest, everyone else has their hardship moment, but no real character development was made for them. They just all have to face the choices they make throughout the anime and live with the result, which isn't bad at all. But as far as character writing goes, meh, 7.5 out of 10. Animation. In my opinion, the animation was done very well for a summer 2015 anime. They even make sure to apply realistic physics to the animation. Like, just look at Yu's hair as him and Jojiro fall down from the backlash of Jojiro's power. And although they cut their corners with zoom outs here and there, it isn't abysmal to the point where the character looks disfigured. Personally, I love this animation style. I understand that the animation is getting more advanced and detailed while animators are getting slutted out in terms of pay. I'm sorry, people. However, this animation style was the first style I fell in love with when it came out. So I'm giving it an 8.5, and you can argue with your mother. Power system. I thought the power system was done perfectly. Each power had their own drawbacks, and measures were put in place for each user to adjust to their power objectively. Like Takehito's bulletproof vest that protects his organs, and how Now can't alter everyone's visual receptors, but she can alter a single person's visual receptors so that they won't be able to see her. I also love the fact that powers that are too powerful for the user to control aren't just magically learned. If they can die from their own power, they will die. And it's sad, but nobody's learning how to control that shit off the first use. Well done, Mayday. Save that plot armor for another anime. 9.5 out of 10. It was nice. The intro and outro songs suited the anime, and although I felt as if the visuals accompanied by the intro music really boosted the song, there's not much to say about this one. The End ain't my type of music, but it wasn't bad, and the slice of life song in the anime fit perfectly with each scene it was used in, so GG, 7.5 out of 10. Nothing really stood out, so it at least gets a passing grade.
And as for the final rating, it's gotta get a 9 out of 10. Believe it or not, this used to be my favorite anime after Naruto, but as I grew older and rewatched it many more times, I started to understand why I appreciated the anime, but also began to see some of its flaws, like the character development. Originally, I loved the characters, and still do, but didn't get to see them develop as much as I'd hoped. Looking back at it, that might have been purposeful, as the author never intended to belabor the story or the characters. Some people love Charlotte, and some people hate it because of its similarity to Angel Beats. I mean, Angel Beats did come out 5 years earlier. They both have a white hair girl, powers, kids. But if that's your only reason for saying this anime's ass, or any less than it actually is, then with that logic, I can say Black Clover is dog shit, because Naruto exists. Relationship with a destructive demon, powers that were out of control before they learned to harness their inner demon's power and become friends with it, 3 main kids, although Noelle isn't as useless as Sakura, so there's one difference. But I won't say that, because they're both great anime. All anime is inspired by something, and Charlotte is no exception. Take the show for what it's worth, and let people enjoy a good binge. The story isn't long and drawn out, and the visuals are so nice, it makes me even more critical on anime today with this shitty 3D CG animation. Like, please stop. If you enjoyed this video and can't wait for a fall season of anime to start, like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can know when my next journal entry drops. Peace.
tastes different. Did you put anything different in it?